What's going on, everybody? This is Jason Getty. I'm going to show you how you can get the cheaper cuts of ground beef, ground chuck, whatever, how you can get those and get the fat out of them so you don't have to eat all that saturated fat when you decide to cook with them. So you save yourself some money, get rid of all the fat, or most of it anyways. Let me show you how simple it is. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do is get a big pot. You're going to fill it up about, I don't know, a third of the way up, something like that. Enough to cover up the meat that you're going to put in it. Wait, did you just say you're going to boil the hamburger? Yeah, man, we're going to boil the hamburger, and I'm going to tell you why here in just a second. Okay, so after you get your pan with water in it, obviously you need to wash your hands, make sure you don't got any ick on your fingers. What you're going to do is I'm going to take this hamburger, ground chuck, and I'm going to put it in the water. You want to do it while the water is cold, otherwise you might splash boiling water all over yourself. Alright, let me go ahead and do that. Alright, now that I got my hamburger in the pot, I'm going to go ahead and put this on. My burner says like 7, okay? What I'm going to do while this is heating up, I'm going to go ahead and break this hamburger, the ground chuck, whatever it is, apart. Get everything separated. What that's going to do is that's going to give more surface area for the water to touch. And how this works is fat floats and muscle does not. Muscle sinks, right? So basically it's like you're panning for the protein. And I'm going to put a little more water in this, actually, just to make sure. Alright, so I've added a little more water to my pan. So that meat is 80% lean, which means it's 20% fat, which doesn't sound like a lot. Sorry, I guess I should put it on the meat. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that's by weight. And meat, protein, muscle weighs a lot more than fat does. And if you've ever been scuba diving or you know, snorkeling or whatnot and you're overweight, it's really hard to do that in the ocean because you have so much body fat. But guys that are thin, they sink to the bottom. So like I was saying, this is basically like panning for gold. And once these bubbles from boiling starts to agitate the meat, it will release the fat, and the heat also will release the fat from the ground meat. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that heat up and start cooking. Be back in just a minute. All right, but it hadn't started boiling yet. But let's just kind of see what we got. And you can really see how well the meat is separated. There's some that's kind of stuck together a little bit. But for the most part, it's all opened up. And you can already see, get off of there. Get off of there, you. You can already see some of the oil coming up to the top. That's all saturated fat from the meat coming up to the top. Alright, well, let's let that heat up more, get it going to a boil. And I'm literally going to brown this meat in this water. So I'm going to get it cooked all the way in this water. And then I'm going to try to see if I can get some of the, or get, you know, the fat off the top of the water so you can see how much fat comes off of this. Maybe put it in a glass or something like that. So, alright, be back in just a second and we'll see where we are. Okay, it doesn't quite come to a boil yet, but we're getting close. What you're going to do, go ahead and give it a little stir. So it'll start the releasing process. You can see up top here, just the fat that's collecting up top. And it doesn't hurt that you stir it. It's not going to mix back in. It's going to float back up to the top again. So go ahead and give that a pretty good little stir. See how it's cleaning up on the sides of the pot. Now, yeah, this is way different than, like if we were just to fry this in a pan, the meat would literally just soak up the grease, so it wouldn't be able to release the grease. So what this is doing basically is as soon as the grease liquefies and is able to release from the meat, it lets it go. So that's what's collecting on top right now of the water, is the grease and stuff that you don't want to eat. So this is all saturated fat floating on top here. So all right, I'll be back in just a sec, and it'll be during the rolling boil. You can see how everything kind of cooks and whatnot. All right, now it's starting to boil. Look at that. Get all this stuff out of the way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pot of chili. I'm getting all my stuff ready. But to do that, I got to boil this meat up. You see now it just started to agitate. And that's not meat floating on top at all. That's just ick. It's the stuff you don't want to eat. Alright, see how it's all coming to the top? Give that a good stir, help agitate all the all the fat out of the hamburger. Excuse me. I just cut up a Reaper. I got a smoked Reaper going to go in my chili. I'm going to do another video on that. I how to make some chili with smoked Reaper in it. And I got links to all of the recipes for that, for the smoked Reaper sauce that's going to go in there. So don't worry, you will be included in all that. Alright. Well, that guy's starting to really cook now. We're going to go ahead and let it do its thing. And when we come back, it will be ready for me to try to get all this grease and stuff off the top. Alright, so let that cool down just a smidge from the lid coming off. You can see, hopefully, how fine the hamburger is now. How it's just broken apart. That'll make really good taco meat. We're going to use it for chili though, but that'll make really good taco meat. Be real easy to scoop into your tacos. So, alright, let me turn this thing off, cool this down just a smidge, and we'll see what the water looks like. And notice all the fat that's stuck to the sides of the pan too. Alright, let's see what we got. Okay, so just pulling it off, it's still boiling, but I just pulled it off the hot burner. You can see how the hamburger has sank. And all this grease, fat, saturated fat has just come to the top. Isn't that gross? But anyways, you can now add red meat back into your diet if you're trying to stay away from saturated fat. Let's see how much of this I can scoop off of here. Alright, so I started getting some of this grease off of here, and I didn't want you all to think I was doing some kind of parlor trick on you. But that's where I'm at so far, and that's like 2 scoops. I could end up with, I don't know how many glasses of this, but basically I'm just, well, that was a little fast. Taking it and siphoning it. Is that the right word? Probably not. Putting it in here. I feel like I do it on Jaws where he's like, I'm going to need a bigger boat. Look at that. That's what floats to the top. This is such a better way of removing the fat from your... I'm not saying all fat's bad, because like monounsaturated poly is a little easier on your body. Yeah, let me get a different glass. But that's what I got off so far. Okay, so I've got almost all of the grease off the top of this. And I'm going to go ahead and put these glasses that I have taken the grease water off of, put these glasses in the refrigerator. And what's going to happen is the fat's going to come to the top. And then I'm going to scoop it all out on a plate or something, or, you know, whatever. Put it in a bowl, let you all see what's what. Oh, I just steamed my lens up. So anyways, you can see I got all the fat off, but I'll do the big reveal here right after this. 3 pounds of ground round, or no, 3 pounds of ground chuck. And I cooked it in a way to remove all the fat, and that's why it looks so so gritty like that. It looks like it'd be good taco meat. Let me get that out of the... All right, ladies and gentlemen, back to what we ended up catching, and there's still movement in the water from stuff floating to the top and sinking to the bottom, whatever. But I think we got a pretty good idea. So, here is the worst glass that I've got. You ready? This is what came off the Hamburger. And you can see it's just goop floating on top. I'm sorry the glass isn't more clear than that. But yeah, there you go. So that all came out, floated off the top of the Hamburger, or actually it's ground chuck. So here's another one. Not as bad, obviously. I got a huge amount, and that right there I'm going to assume is meat, but I got a huge amount off the first scoop. So the second scoop looks like that. Not too bad. You can see that there's still movement in here, which means there's stuff transferring in this glass, but there's some more there. Same thing with the last two. Not as much. This is the last one I pulled off, but yeah, you can get all that off your meat, and it won't even saturate into back into itself, you know, if you boil it. So hopefully that gives you all a healthier way to strain your hamburger meat. This will work on ground turkey too, or ground pork, whatever. And as soon as you put it, I mean, once you put it in, like, I'm putting mine in a chili pot for chili. Once you add, hold on, let me turn this around. Hi. Once you add all the ingredients to your chili to it, it's not going to taste any different than it did if you'd have fried that straight in the pan without doing all that. So you're not really going to lose any flavor. So I recommend you all give it a try. Let me know what you think. Please like the video. Share it with somebody that's trying to go low fat or no fat for the holidays. Let them know it's really easy to keep your hamburger in your diet if you want to. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate y'all taking time out to spend some time with me. We'll see you all in the next video. Peace. Oh wait, here. Don't act like y'all don't want me to do this. Oh, here we go. Let me get this. So exciting.